Hello, Seiiti Arata. You're probably living an emotional roller coaster that is completely unnecessary. And this is costing you more than you realize. Think about it. Why do you lose emotional control exactly when you need it the most? If you're the type of person who explodes in traffic, somebody who gets anxious before important meetings, if you lose sleep because you have this problem that has not even happened yet, let's have a conversation about that. Every time you overreact to a situation, you're losing professional credibility. Every time you dwell on problems for hours, you're wasting precious mental energy. Every time you blow up at people close to you, you're damaging important relationships, right? Does that make sense? Think about bad things that you did this week. Do you regret any of them? Your emotional stability is something that is not related to your personality. It is emotional incompetence. The problem is the word but. After you realize something that you regret, if you say but, you're protecting your ego. Oh, but they provoked me. Oh, but I've been so stressed. Oh, but I'm dealing with so many problems. Emotionally mature people don't use but to justify their outbursts. They try to find solutions using now what. Here's the first tip: stop using but in your life. When you're using but, you're defending yourself instead of learning. You're looking for justifications instead of solutions. That word is keeping you stuck in the same emotional patterns. The real issue here is that nobody has taught you equanimity. Equanimity is a word coming from Latin, equus, about balanced, and animus, mind. It means having a balanced mind no matter what happens around you. It's not coldness, it's not indifference, it is conscious emotional stability. Equanimity does not mean not feeling. It means feeling without being hijacked by your emotions. So when I say here, you need equanimity, I mean that you need to become a more balanced type of person. In other words, less unbalanced. Because when you react in an overly intense way, well, you're being unbalanced. You're exaggerating, so just tone it down. Go back to your center. Let me show you the practical difference here. Imagine two people receiving some criticism at work. The first person dwells on that for days, losing sleep, questioning their own competence, avoiding their boss. The second person, same situation, just processing the information, identifying what are the valid points, making necessary adjustments, and just moving on. What is the difference? Equanimity. The person who explodes at criticism is revealing more about themselves than about the critic. Now, here's what happens when you're lacking mental, emotional balance. You make important decisions while you are emotionally disturbed, but then you regret it later. You're sending impulsive messages. You're accepting or rejecting offers based on emotion. Your life becomes a series of automatic reactions, not conscious choices. And even worse, you're building a reputation for being unstable. You don't lose opportunities due to lack of skill, you're losing them because of lack of emotional stability. Your colleagues will be avoiding to give feedback to you. They know they have to be walking on eggshells around you. You might lose opportunities because people don't trust your ability to handle pressure. Equanimity will set you free from all that emotional prism. When you develop equanimity, you stop letting people and situations control how you feel. You become responsible for your own inner peace, no matter what chaos is surrounding you. The people who need the perfect world to feel okay, they are slaves to circumstance. So I'm going to be teaching you 3 techniques to build this type of skill. The first one is the conscious pause control. Every time something is triggering a strong emotional reaction, which could be criticism at work or some argument at home, a financial surprise, you can just use this 30-second protocol. Step number 1, physically stop, literally stop whatever you're doing. If you're walking, stop. If you're talking, stop. If you're typing, stop. That physical pause will break the automatic reaction. The difference between reacting and responding is that 30-second pause. As the second step, you're going to take 3 conscious breaths. It's not complicated, just notice the air coming in and out. This will activate your parasympathetic nervous system and will take you out of this fight or flight mode. And the third step is ask, what is this situation asking of me? Not why is this happening to me? No. It's like, what is being asked? This question will pull you out of the victim mode and will put you into a responsive mode, not a reactive mode. Let me explain the difference. Victim mode is when you see yourself as somebody who's suffering some injustice that you have no control. And then you think, why is this happening to me? This is not fair. In this type of state, you freeze or you explode, but you're not solving anything. A responsive mode means accepting the situation as it is, and then you focus on what you can do about it. You're not wasting energy blaming others or feeling sorry for yourself. You just ask, okay, what can I do next? And then you take constructive action. Why me is a victim type of question. What is being asked of me? That is a leader's question. As a practical example, imagine somebody getting an aggressive email from their boss. The natural impulse would be to reply immediately with irritation. But with the protocol, you stop, you breathe, and then you ask, what is being asked of me? Clarity. And then you can answer without drama, objectively, without responding in a reactive way, and then you solve the problem. The science behind this technique is neuroplasticity. You're changing your brain. Each time you're pausing between your stimulus and your response, you're strengthening the brain pathways for conscious choice, and then you weaken the ones that are taking you to automatic reaction. And with practice, equanimity becomes your default response. I can practice this religiously for 2 weeks with small situations in the beginning, somebody cutting you on traffic, you getting some automatic message that makes you angry. Any type of situation, your coffee got cold. Just use this protocol, even for minor irritations. Then you're training your brain to not react. The second technique is the time perspective exercise. When you're facing something that feels like the end of the world, just use this mental sequence. First, ask, is this going to matter 1 week from now? If not, it's a temporary problem. So your reaction probably is overblown. Second, if it will matter in 1 week, you can ask, is this going to matter 1 month from now? If the answer is no, it's going to give you more perspective. And even the third situation, if it will matter in 1 month, is this going to matter 1 year from now? Very rarely. If it will truly matter in 1 year, you can ask, okay, 10 years from now, looking back, how would I have wanted to handle this situation? This will connect you to your future wisdom. If it's not going to matter in 10 years, it's probably not worth to ruin your day today. Imagine if you find that you're not going to get the promotion that you expected. The initial reaction would be despair, anger, thoughts like, oh, my career is over. With time perspective, you ask, is this going to matter in 1 month? Oh, maybe yeah, because of income. 1 year from now, maybe, depending on other choices, other opportunities. A few years, 10 years from now, probably it's just going to be a detour. How can you handle that? With dignity, learning, with better preparation. Now, this technique does not minimize real problems. It will help you to calibrate your emotional response to the true scale of that situation. I'll give you a third technique, which is an emotional logging with a reassessment. This technique will help you break automatic emotional patterns. For 1 week, every time you feel a strong emotion, you can just write down the situation, what happened, in an objective way, the automatic thought, the first thing that popped into your mind, your emotion, what you felt, and the intensity from 1 to 10, and the behavior, what you did. At the end of the day, you can review your notes for each of these situations and you can ask, is there another way to interpret this situation? For example, if somebody didn't reply a message you wrote, instead of thinking, oh, they are ignoring me, you can consider, well, maybe they're busy. If your best friend would experience this, how would you react? You would probably be more compassionate, right? So do that to yourself. Ask, what evidence do I have that my thought is true? Because often you are responding to your assumption, not to facts. You see, this exercise will build your ability to observe your emotional reactions, like a scientist, kind of, creating a healthy distance between you and your impulses. To learn how to organize your life more calmly, to develop a personal plan that will include your emotional stability, you can go to the link arata.se/planning your life. Equanimity is not coldness, it is emotional wisdom. You're still gonna feel emotions, but you're not controlled by them. You'll still care about results, but you don't panic. You still act with urgency when needed, but you don't live in constant stress. The practical difference here is huge. People with equanimity make better decisions because they think clearly even under pressure. They have healthier relationships because they don't explode with every conflict. They're more productive because they don't waste their time, their energy on unnecessary drama. They're more respected because they show emotional maturity. Emotional maturity, by the way, is not the being old. It's not about age. It's about the ability to choose your responses. Equanimity is the difference between reacting to life and responding to life. Reacting is like automatic, it's impulsive, it's often destructive. Now, responding is chosen, it's conscious, it is constructive. When you develop equanimity, you gain the ability to choose how to respond to any situation. Your life stops being a series of emotional outbursts, and it becomes a conscious, focused journey. You stop being a victim of your circumstances, and then you plan. You become an architect of your responses. If you want a complete system on how to develop this emotional stability, to plan for a more balanced life, you can go to the link arata.se/planning your life.